All right, let's get it rocking. If you in the chat, make sure you go to let me know. We have a new surprise, fellas. We have a new surprise, man. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Life of a Champ podcast. We got the new look, man. We got the new look. I'm looking forward to that, man. If you like the look, let me know, and I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like before, and then this is going to be the look that I will go with from here on out. And if you guys have any comments regarding that, make sure to let me know in the comments. But for today's episode, we're going to be discussing an important topic of monk mode. So if you know what monk mode is, this should be some revising and hopefully some encouragement for you to go ahead and try it yourself. But if you haven't heard what monk mode is, this is going to be a good video to inform you exactly what you need to do, as well as what I've done and what I'm doing currently right now. So make sure to go and leave in the comments if you are in here. Whether you're watching or watching this live, let me know, and we'll go ahead and get it started here in a minute. Give me 1 second. So this is what it looked like. This is what it looks like now. This is gonna be the new. This is gonna be the new look. I like it. It looks more free flowing. It looks more minimalistic, and this is what it used to look like. And hold up, no, that's not it. This is what it used to look like. This is what it looks like. It's not a bad look. Like I said, I just felt like changing it up because it'll definitely give it a different type of vibe, and hopefully you guys like it. If you don't like it, let me know in the comments too, man. I want the honesty. I want the honesty, right? So this is gonna be the new look, fellas. I personally am a big fan of it. I created it myself, so uh, if you do enjoy it, make sure to let me know in the comments. But like I said, getting back on topic, we're going to be discussing monk mode. So a few things I want to mention before I go ahead and get started. Make sure you go ahead and leave a like on my YouTube Shorts as well as my YouTube clips. I'm posting more of those, and I've been posting. I actually posted a few just a few minutes ago, so tap in with those for sure. Leave a like and say what's good on those, and then also make sure you go and follow me at TikTok, just Life of a Champ podcast on TikTok, and yeah, make sure you go ahead and yeah, tap in with that for sure, for sure. I'm gonna try to make some new TikTok accounts to try to try to go viral on there. I'll be doing that very very soon here as well. Unfortunately, my account is literally a dead account, and no matter what video I post, I'm literally getting like less than 300 views. So I'll be having a new main whenever I go viral on that, because quite frankly, I have like over 300 videos posted, and the highest viewed one is like what, like not even like 3,000 views. So it's wasted time. So I'm gonna be making a new account on there for sure, for sure. But like I said, if you like it, let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any questions regarding monk mode, I want you to go ahead and leave in the comments whether you're watching this or rewatching this for sure, for sure. Getting into it, topic for today, like I said, episode 143 of the Life of Champ podcast, monk mode. Monk mode is going to be it's going to be a temporary mode of immersion with focusing on your goals and trying to get ahead. And usually this is going to last anywhere from about 30 to 90 days. For me personally, I am on a period right now where I'm doing 32 days because it is going to be from August 8th to September 8th. So this is going to be something that I've done a lot of research on and always wanted to go ahead and do, but for whatever reason I kept limiting myself, and now I'm in a position where I think it's the best time for me to go ahead and do it. And hopefully, right now, maybe you're going through a period of time in your life where you do believe that it's going to be the best decision for you moving forward. And I'll go ahead and explain exactly what that's going to look like. But nonetheless, like I said, it's going to be a period of complete immersion. And this is going to be slightly different to what your typical living is going to look like. And so, for example, let's just say you're slacking off on a few things. This is just going to hold you accountable to these certain things. This is going to remove all the distractions or what could be perceived as distractions, and you definitely want to get into this mode because this is going to be a little bit more serious. I feel like everyone around you should kind of know what to expect from you from this, and this is going to be a lot more nights where you're by yourself and focusing on what you need to go ahead and focus on, doing the work that you need to go ahead and do, and being the person that you need to be for the people around you, more importantly. And I've definitely found a lot. I've been doing it for was it 7 days now? Technically 8 days, and it has been great to say the very very least. And I'll go ahead and tell you kind of what mine looks like. I posted it in a community post, which I'm sure most people watching this probably haven't seen that. But if you have seen that, you kind of know what it's going to look like for me. But nonetheless, like I said, it's going to be a mode of immersion. It's going to be different than your typical living. There should be certain habits that you decide to implement, as well as non-negotiables that you go ahead and live by. And I'll go ahead and talk about that here in a second. Like I said, appreciate you for stopping by. It requires change when you evolve. Looks good. I appreciate your guys' input. Jaden, shout out to Jaden for stopping by as well. Just posted some more shorts on that as well. So if you missed the podcast with Jaden, tap in with the shorts as well as the actual long form podcast. Definitely got some good moments in there for sure, and definitely was one of the most enjoyable podcasts that I've made here in a minute. But yeah, getting into what monk mode is supposed to look like. This is going to be a little bit of I would say there's going to be a lot of things that you can go ahead and interchange for yourself depending on what you want to do. And I'll give you specifically what mine looks like first of all. So just to break it down, through what I've researched, monk mode is going to look something like adding about three non-negotiables. So these are things you're supposed to do, and there's no doubt about it. You just need to get these things done. And for mine personally, this is going to be avoiding my vices, posting 15 to 20 times a week, which is something I'm currently struggling with. I'll be honest with you, and also doing 30 minutes of thinking, which is something that I've definitely been enjoying for sure, for sure. But yes, you must have three non-negotiables. These are going to be things that maybe you've been putting off, maybe things that you need to prioritize a lot more than you've been doing. And yeah, I would say going about that specifically to your cater to your specific needs and what you need to go ahead and do, and the challenges that you need to overcome. It should look different. Mine are just going to be something that applies to my own life and things that I value. Yours is going to look different, and there's pretty much nobody that should look exactly like mine if I'm being fair with you. So these are going to be the non-negotiables. There's no doubt. You just need to get this done. You need to figure out a way to get these things done, and go from there for sure. And then you got the variables, right? So there's going to be. I'm going to recommend you do at least 3 to 5 variables. These are going to be things that I would recommend as specific habits that you go ahead and do. Um, the non-negotiable should be the ways to live by, and then the variables should be truly habits that you want to implement or get rid of. And what that's going to look like for me. And these have been absolutely fantastic. Tapping back into these because these are habits that I've had in the past, but for whatever reason have neglected. These are going to look like meditating for 10 to 15 minutes. When I started, I was doing about 10 minutes, and now I'm up to about 15 minutes, thankfully. But yes, I've seen so much good progress through meditation. Meditation is definitely one of those keystone habits that can literally affect your entire day, the ways that you think. And I would also say it actually helps your flow state as well, getting back into flow state, if you know what that is. It's a mode of productivity that unfortunately not many people go ahead and achieve, but if you're able to achieve it, it's going to feel like second nature when it comes to your work. But nonetheless, that is going to be a great habit that I'm going to recommend for sure, for sure. And if you're a person right now watching this who's never implemented or never even tried meditation, this is going to be something that I would recommend for sure. And everybody's meditation is going to look different. I'll go ahead and explain what that's going to look like for me. For me personally, I put my headphones on. I listen to this specific audio, which is a fantastic audio, at least in my opinion, right? If you want to know what that is, I can send it to you guys. But yes, very, very good audio. It's just some relaxing music, and then from there, I close my eyes, I focus on my breathing, and I try to focus on nothing, which is very, very difficult. But that's going to be the entire point of meditation. It's supposed to be slightly difficult. You're supposed to be recentering yourself back to a state of where you're not thinking about anything, where you're focusing on nothing but just the present moment. And the reason why I recommend this is because it is such a grounding habit, I would say, because it allows you to focus on, like I said, on your breathing, on the music that's on, and also on hopefully clearing your mind of all thoughts and of all current circumstances that may be going on in your life. And at the very least, if you are struggling, let's just say you keep thinking about whatever, right? Hopefully, recentering to your state of basically blank thinking. That's the way that I try to think about it. Sometimes I'm better than sometimes I'm doing very, very good, and sometimes I'm struggling. I'm thinking about a bunch of different things, but nonetheless, just trying to refocus back on nothing, just the present moment. And if you're able to do this, this is going to reap you a ton of benefits. And at the very least, it's going to give you the self-discipline to go ahead and handle yourself in other situations, which I think can come in handy for sure, for sure. It might even be able to affect you um, outside of the actual state of meditating. So definitely something I'm going to recommend for sure. So that is going to be one of my variables, and definitely a variable that I'm going to go ahead and recommend. Another one of my variables is going to be reading. This is a habit that I've again neglected for unfortunately a lot longer than I would like to admit, but nonetheless is going to be one of the most beneficial habits that I've ever implemented in my entire life. And I've heard a lot of people discuss reading they consider it the most what they consider it what is it the greatest long term investment that you can ever put into yourself when it comes to your self development journey. And I would say 12 out of 10 habit for sure. Yes, it's another one of those habits that takes a lot of self discipline. And if we're being for real, not many people are able to read. Right, their attention span is destroyed because of short form content. And nonetheless, I would say this is something that if you feel like you can't do it, you should do it. Same thing with meditation. If you feel like you can't do 10 minutes of meditation, you probably should do 30 minutes of meditation, damn near. So figure these things out for yourself. Like I said, right now I'm reading I'll show you what I'm reading right now. I'm reading Mastery by Robert Greene. Shout out to my dad who got me this book, and it is going to be a great book for sure, for sure. If I can give you a few things that I've learned recently about it, um, let me go ahead. I got it right here actually. So I'll give you the three things that I've learned through the book, or have reaffirmed right into my own mind for sure. This is going to be. I feel like while reading this book, it definitely reinstilled a lot of the things in which I do, and gave me a lot of reassurance that I'm on the right path, which is definitely very very reassuring. And hopefully you can go ahead and find whatever book is going to be catering to your specific interests. Like I said, for me, this is a book that I've heard about, and a book that I wanted to go ahead and pick up eventually. I've had it for a while now, but I never picked it up. I actually have three of Robert Greene's books. I have Mastery, which is the one I'm reading right now. I have The 48 Laws of Power, which I haven't got into yet, but I have looked into plenty and plenty of times. And I also have the Art of Seduction as well, which is definitely a good book for sure. But nonetheless, if the things that I have learned or reaffirmed through my reading is there's this concept of call. It's called the calling, right? And apparently, a bunch of people who are actually used for examples of the book. They're going to be a lot of people who have done something or who have advanced society to an extent, and they advanced it by listening to their inner calling and denying the outside noise that may exist, whether it's distractions of other people, maybe it's the pressure of their parents, maybe it's the pressure of society, but nonetheless they knew what the inner calling was. They listened to it very very carefully, and then they acted upon that, which I would say, unfortunately, not many people are doing this, and not many people that I have just talked to either have this calling or at the very least pay attention to this calling. And I would say for a while, unfortunately, I was acting and I was doing some of the things that I needed to do, but unfortunately, I wasn't doing everything that I needed to. If I'm being transparent. Nonetheless, the more I have listened to this specific calling and acted in accordance to it, definitely seen a lot more positive benefits within my own personal life. And this is going to be, like I said, a part of the reason why I recommend this specific book as well. If I can give you another thing, um, this is what really resonated with me, and this is going to be your calling should be a specified field in which you can dominate, right? So this should be catered to your interests or catered towards value they can bring to other people, but nonetheless, they keep mentioning within the book that it should be something that you can tap back into your childhood, right? It should be some type of reflection back onto your childhood, whether it's your childhood interests or whether yeah, it's pretty much a childhood interest, I would say. But nonetheless, the more you can specify this, the more you can dominate an entire field. That's what they say. So for me, for example, right, I was very very interested in articulation of words and speech, and I found that a podcast would be the perfect thing for me to go ahead and do, especially because I love having good conversation, and I feel like there's really not anything better for me to do than this specifically, and of course it also is going to be fulfilling my purpose, which is to go ahead and inspire, educate, and empower the ones around me and of my influence. So that's also going to be hand in hand of specifying and getting, and they call it niching down, or niching down, pretty much, basically, specifying what that's going to look like for you. And like I said, the more you're able to do this for your own specific life, the better you're going to do within your life, and the more fulfilled you're going to be, which is definitely going to be a thing that not a lot of people are truly striving for, unfortunately, and something that I've definitely strived for sure. And also, one thing I want to mention as well is people who don't follow their life's calling or feel like they do not have one. I feel like, according to the book, and this is an observation that I've made as well within my own life, is those types of people are going to be drawn to degenerate behaviors, whether it's picking up a new vice, maybe it's choosing an action that isn't really conducive to the life that you truly want to live, and they're going to be trying to escape. They're going to be trying to seek temporary escapes in their life, instead of following their calling. Which the people who follow their calling, they're pretty much always working to an extent. At the very least, they're thinking about the things in which they need to think about. But nonetheless, if you're a person right now that is lacking calling, lacking a certain mission on life, this is something I'm going to recommend for you to go ahead and become very, very clear with, and start paying attention to the signs that the universe is throwing at you. Because I feel like a lot of people, they neglect these signs, they don't take them serious enough. But nonetheless, if you're able to do this, you could potentially be living a much more fulfilling life, and hopefully adding value to other people's lives as well. So that is just a few things that I've learned within my book. If you don't care, hey, it is. I still got to let you know, man. I still got to let you know. So yeah, so that is going to be another variable of mine. Something I definitely recommend for sure. Getting into the next thing, this is going to be another variable of mine and something that I've definitely needed to re-implement and something that has definitely been a little bit easier for me to go ahead and do. This is going to be working out 6 days a week. So I would say a form of working out is going to be playing basketball. So I'm going to try to lift about four times a week and then play basketball about 2 times a week as well. So that has definitely been something that I've been trying to prioritize a lot more because I've been not doing as well, not making as much progress in the gym as I'd like. And with that being said, getting back to the things that truly create a strong foundation is definitely going to be very, very ideal. Part two coming soon. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jaden is exactly right. Part two of the podcast here soon. I like the new look. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'm checking the Twitch chat, so if you're in here, make sure to let me know. But yes, yeah, in monk mode, man, I'm telling you, those three variables and those three non-negotiables, those are going to be essential parts of what creates this mode of immersion. And like I'd mentioned, it's going to be slightly different than your typical living, right? Maybe you're a little bit less disciplined within your regular mode of living, but monk mode is going to be a specified point in time that you need to go ahead and truly lock in. And unfortunately, I don't see enough people locking in, and this is why I'm making the podcast, man. So what I will say with this is, like I said, it's going to be anywhere from about 30 to 90 days. I would recommend if you're starting off, I would recommend doing the 30 days, right? Figuring out what that's going to look like, making that vision very, very clear for yourself before you go ahead and do it, and then doing it, right? Commit to it fully. Because here's the thing, you don't want to half commit because you give yourself room for leeway to not do the things in which you know you need to do. So you need to completely immerse yourself within this and take this as probably the most serious thing that you take in your entire life for this current moment. And this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing right now. And like I said, I've reaped so many benefits already. Well, I've learned so much about myself. I learned so much about self-discipline within these last literally a week. I've only been doing it a week, and I've seen so much progress for sure, for sure. But yes, one thing I want to mention as well is these variables that you can go ahead and add. They can literally be anything. They can literally be anything that applies to your specific life or areas of focus that you want to go ahead and focus on, or like I mentioned, the habits that you think are worth prioritizing for sure. Um, yeah, and I would say, like I said, I'm gonna recommend certain habits or removal of habits. Those are going to be the best variables that possibly can be. So I can give you a few examples of habits that I would recommend, and these are going to be just some of the most basic self improvement habits. But nonetheless, I feel like if you're not too advanced within self improvement, these are going to be good. This is going to be a good start, and of course, I'm going to start with one that I'm going to recommend. And I just recently made a podcast. If you want to know exactly a little bit more about that, tap into the Desire and Temptation podcast that I did. Was it about 2 weeks ago? So the first one's going to be retention or no fap. This is going to be um, self discipline when it comes to self pleasure. And if you're able to do this, you're going to be ahead of like literally 99% of men because, quite frankly, most men fold. That's all I'm gonna say. Moving on, these are going to be other habits that I'm going to recommend. Cold showers, definitely a good one for sure. Meditation, that's a good one for sure. Reading, like I mentioned, breath work. Maybe you're starting a new diet. That's going to be another good one that is worthy of looking into, as well as journaling. Those are going to be some of the habits that have definitely improved my specific life, right? And I'm only going to recommend the ones in which I've already done or have at least tried to do. And with that being said, like I said, it can literally be any habit. So if you're right now watching this and you find interest within habits that I haven't mentioned, yeah, definitely go ahead and apply those to your life, and also let me know if it's something that you are considering doing. Right, if you're considering doing monk mode and considering certain habits, definitely let me know for sure. But I, at the very least, wanted to introduce you guys to this specific idea because I do believe that there's not a ton of people that know about this about monk mode. There's not a ton of people that truly know about self improvement, but monk mode specifically, I do believe it's gonna be one of those things that you need to truly truly utilize as a tool and do it in specific times. And maybe you do it half of the year, maybe you do it 4 months of the year, but nonetheless, those 4 months, those 6 months, even those that 30 days can literally be life changing. It can completely it can completely change your entire potential and your entire trajectory just based off of that. So that is why I'm going to recommend it for sure. I've seen a lot of people have a lot of success within this, and this is something that you should take very very serious because quite frankly, if you're living life right now and you're not exactly in the position that you want to be in, you need to take life more serious, and this is going to be the perfect remedy to go ahead and do this. And of course, I do believe that this is a temporary mode of being. I don't believe that this is something that you should, completely uphold. Obviously, I believe in good habits. I believe in adding structure and discipline within to your life. But I do believe that this is, for some, what could be perceived as unrealistic to maintain as a lifestyle, because it is very very strict as it should be, and very 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 yeah, something you need to be very very disciplined for. So yeah, these are going to be just the fundamentals of monk mode. So if you guys have any questions regarding any of that, make sure you go and leave them in the comments. But other than that, I want to know your guys' take. Is this something that you're potentially considering? Is this something that you've done before? Is this something that you can never see yourself doing? I want to know all of it. So definitely leave it in the comments for sure. Yeah, but it's been pretty interesting. I could read you guys some of the I was writing down a few things when it came to my 30 minutes of thinking. This is going to be a habit. I'm gonna talk about that for a little bit as well. This variable, or no, this non-negotiable that I've added to monk mode, and this is going to be something that I've mentioned in previous podcasts before because I recognize the lack of thinking that people go ahead and do when it comes to their primary action. Most people's primary action is just keeping themselves busy or distracted, and then they think as a secondary action. And I do believe that's going to be, of course, it's going to be something that's something that is a given, truly. But let's just say you're going through something right now, and it truly needs your primary focus, but you're not giving it primary focus. Um, I feel like it's going to drag on. Whatever it is, the process of that thought is going to drag on way longer than it needs to. So if you're watching this right now and you're going through something that needs to truly be thought out, which just about anything needs to be thought out, I would definitely recommend that specific non-negotiable because it allows you to sit with your own thoughts. And I feel like not enough people are truly sitting with their own thoughts and truly processing them and going about them the correct and proper way, which will lead to quicker progression, right? If you're constantly thinking about things secondary, you're truly not focused enough on the things that you need to get over. So, for example, um, within my period of last year, which I spent the majority of last year not working and truly dedicating my time to my passion of this podcast, as well as taking the time to think about and getting over things that I needed to get over. And with that being said, I realized how important thought truly was when you didn't have other worries to worry about. And if you can at least put yourself in that state for 30 minutes a day, you're going to be in a much better position when it comes to just handling life in general. And like I mentioned, unfortunately, I do not see enough people doing this, and therefore I see the results of that. I truly have seen the results of that. And within that year that I had just mentioned, I spent a lot of time thinking. I spent a lot of time thinking about my own specific ideas, thinking about the things that I've been going through, and just spending that time literally allowed me to evolve a lot quicker than you typically would because, like I said, life is a distraction in itself, right? And of course, life is obviously necessary to go ahead and do, but nonetheless, there's certain things that I do believe that people take way longer than they need to get over. For example, I needed to get over one of the breakups that I had, and I definitely spent a lot of time thinking about it, analyzing it, and I did a lot of writing and journaling as well. And within that period of time, I was able to make a lot of progress. And I do believe that there's going to be a lot of people holding on to certain things like that, whether it's unconscious or consciously holding on to that. There's a lot of people right now, even maybe you watching this right now, maybe you're going through something, and maybe it's in the back of your mind, but you truly know it's not completely resolved. And if you never give that enough attention, you don't give it enough time and attention and true focus, it is going to be something that lingers on a lot more than you would like to admit. And unfortunately, I do believe that a lot of people are truly a victim of this, and are living life trying to just figure it out, and are going through things, trying to get past certain moments of trauma, but they truly can't do it as quickly and effectively as they would like, because they're just caught up, man. They're just caught up. So if you're a person watching this right now that is going through something that truly needs to be thought through and processed, take the time. Truly take the time, because you will definitely thank me later if you go ahead and do that, because like I mentioned, not enough people are doing it, man. All right, let me check the chat real quick. Like I said, if you guys have any comments or questions regarding anything that I'm mentioning, make sure you go ahead and leave them in the comments. All right. Hmm. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I pretty much said everything that I needed to say. So if there's any specific comments you have regarding anything that I mentioned, definitely leave it in the comments for sure. But I'll definitely go over everything, and I'll end it off here a little shortly. But yes, monk mode. Monk mode is going to be a state of being where you're going to be completely immersed within your work and with the things that you need to go ahead and focus on. Right. If you're a person right now watching this that truly is not living the life that you want to live, I do believe that there's going to be periods of the year that you need to truly dedicate to monk mode. And I would say if I had to go back and do this year over again, I would probably do maybe 3 to 4 periods of monk mode. I would say lasting from 60 to 90 days, I'd say. Maybe have a week or two off, maybe have a month off, and then get back to it. That's how, if I had to restructure my year again, that's personally how I would do it. And I definitely would see a lot more benefit, especially because I've seen so much benefit within literally a week. And like I had mentioned, I'll be doing it to the 8th of September. So right now, if you're considering doing it, do it with me, because at least do it, at least do it for 30 days, man. I feel like anything less than 30 days is truly not a big enough commitment. Um, and that's personally why I've chosen the 30 days, and maybe it'll extend beyond that. Or maybe I'll take a week off and go for 60 or go for 90 days. But nonetheless, if you're able to do this, I do believe you're going to tap into a different level of discipline and focus that most people are truly not tapped in with, and you'll literally see the benefit of that. Your life will begin to progress, and your thoughts will be able to progress in such a way that is unlike any other experience that truly I could recommend for sure. So uh, give it a shot, man. Give it a shot. Because really, here's the thing: there's really nothing you can lose. You can't really lose anything by doing this, because all you're doing is developing yourself. And I'll take the 30-day challenge. There you go. There you go. Exactly. And yeah, if you need help thinking about the variables or the non-negotiables, I'm definitely more than willing to help everybody out, because I do believe that a lot of people, they need this help, man. They need the guidance, and I'm definitely here at the very least to answer some questions, and hopefully steer you in the right direction. That is my entire goal, for sure, for sure. And I'm gonna give you a few of the notes that I'd mentioned that I had learned from reading, or let's just say through this entire process of um, monk mode. These are some of the thoughts that I've had in my 30 minutes of thinking to myself that has definitely helped progress my mind for sure. So let's see what we got here, man. So this is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a good one, and I feel like a lot of people could truly resonate with this one. This is going to be understanding the moments in which you go ahead and reject your potential for temporary comforts or pleasure. By doing this, you are acting selfish, right? And I feel like a lot of people right now, with me even saying that, it might even rub you the wrong way. Don't be selfish, man. Here's the thing: everybody around you deserves the best version of you, and if you're not able to give that to them, you're truly being selfish. If you're focusing on instant gratification, you're focusing on the quick pleasures of life, you're selling yourself short. And there's really no other way to put it, man. You're selling yourself short. And if you do not have that self discipline, then you're literally okay with letting people down, right? And it truly gets that deep. I take my potential very, very seriously. And if you're watching this right now, you should take your potential just as serious as I do. And if you're able to do that, you're going to be literally changing your life. And I feel like what it comes down to it is this, right? It's selfish to truly care excessively about how you feel, and this is going to be specifically to the men watching this right now. It is not particularly okay to not do the things you need to do. It is not particularly okay to strive for the things that make you feel truly good, whatever that is. Maybe it's playing video games. Maybe it's like I said, doing self pleasure activities. Maybe it's eating junk food. Maybe it's skipping the gym or whatever it is, right? Those things are not worth, truly not worth um, your long term, or worth the sacrifice of your long term potential. They're not, and these things must be sacrificed, and these things must be um, evolved past, truly. And if you're not able to evolve past these things, you're gonna live with a life that is gonna be less than satisfactory. And here's the thing: at the end of the day, life is going to be hard, and you get to create what type of hard it is, right? It's going to be hard for you to reach your potential, and it's going to be hard for you to reject your potential. But nonetheless, it is going to be hard. It's going to be uncomfortable. There's going to be moments of doubt. There's going to be moments of resistance. But nonetheless, you still must do these things, because if you don't, you're gonna live life with regret. And me personally, I'm not trying to live a life filled with regret, and neither should you, because that's no fun. You don't want to be 6 years old saying, "Man, I really could have did this life so much better, and I can't even get a second chance." Right? That's the last position that you want to be in. So with that being said, are you being selfish right now? Ask yourself that question. Are you truly being selfish? And if you're being selfish, go ahead. You need to go ahead and change something, man, because you're letting the people around you down, and I feel like it's an unconscious thing, man. It's an unconscious thing. Maybe you think, oh well, I'm not really letting anybody down really, but you're not giving them the best version of yourself, man. You're selling yourself so short. You're not truly valuing the people that are in your life. The people in your life deserve the best version of you, and if you're not able to give that to them, you're man. It's embarrassing, honestly. So don't be one of these people. And if you're able to go ahead and do this, and take this a little bit more seriously, like I said, monk mode is definitely going to be a period. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point to put in. That's something that I've, within the last year, a paradigm that I've definitely focused in on time and time again. And I remember there was a habit that I used to do. Was it? It's probably been a little less than a year. Within this habit, I had every time I used to wake up, I used to talk about the reasons in which I'm waking up this morning, so I can actually have the correct focus early on in the day. And like Jaden had mentioned, your future family is depending on you, right? Your future wife is out there waiting for you, right? If you're not being who you need to become, you'll never have her. Or maybe you'll have a different version of her, and she's not going to be as good, right? Or maybe, like I said, maybe your future husband's out there, right? If you're not being the person that you need to be, how are you ever going to attract that person? Maybe maybe you'll get a husband that truly isn't exactly what you were looking for, right? And like I said, that's a hard thing to truly feel, man. But here's the thing, it is that serious. And obviously, me speaking from the paradigm of a 21-year-old, this is something that I have definitely focused on, and definitely something that no matter how old you are, you need to really lock in and focus on. But yes, Jaden is exactly right. Your future family is depending on you, right? This is something that I think about very, very often. I'm like, am I being the man that I would love for my kids to learn from, right? And if I'm not being that type of man, then I need to become that man. I need to reinstill the habits that truly make me the person or instill the habits that truly will let me live up to my potential, so I can show my children what a great man actually looks like. And like I said, it's a paradigm that a lot of people will be like, man, you're taking life too serious, or it's not that deep. Man, it really is that deep, man. It really is that serious, man. And this is something that I would say I also take very, very very seriously. Probably a lot more serious than most people that I do know, but nonetheless, it is that serious, fellas. It is that serious, man. I'll give you another one of my thoughts. Give me 1 second. All right. Yes, yes, right here. Here's the thing. If you're not living up to your potential to be the best in your bloodline, or the best that your bloodline has ever seen, it's truly being immature. It's truly being immature. Like I said, not only are you selfish, um, but you're also immature. And this is going to be controversial, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyways. It's being if you're a man watching this, it's being feminine. Truly, if you're just letting your actions be dictated by the ways in which you feel, you're truly being feminine. And of course, I'm not trying to slander femininity. If you're a woman watching this and being feminine, that's great for you. And but nonetheless, if you're a man watching this, the way in which you approach life needs to be different. And with that being said, it is going to be selfish, immature, and feminine to care how you feel when you need to be the greatest that your bloodline has ever seen, right? That is going to be something that I always strive for, and something that I always will focus in on. And here's how I know I'll be the greatest my bloodline has ever seen is because no one that has ever came before me has thought that same specific way. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. And with that being said, that's a very, very big responsibility. But nonetheless, life is about taking responsibility. Life is about, you know, doing the things that maybe feel uncomfortable for most people, but still doing them because you know it's gonna be better for your overall life. And like Jaden had mentioned, your future family is depending on you, right? Um, like I said, some people might take this. They're like, "Oh, he's taking it too serious, man." I'm really not, man. I'm really not. Um, but yes, nonetheless, it is going to be selfish. It is going to be immature, and it is going to be feminine to let your feelings dictate what you actually do when you know you need to put in some work. You know you have more work to put in. You know you're not doing exactly what you need to do. You still need to do these things, man. It doesn't matter how you feel. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter how you feel because if you're letting your actions be dictated based off of the way you feel, you're going to be living a life that is going to be less than satisfactory. Let 10 years pass, and man, if you're just letting your actions be dictated by the ways in which you feel, just know that you'll be left behind. And that's what it comes down to, man. You will literally be left behind, and you will literally be kicking your own ass for wasting your potential, man. And that's why I'm trying to get you guys to understand how serious this truly is, because I'm not even thinking right now. I'm not even thinking for right now. If I was thinking for right now, I'd be trying to enjoy all the moments in which I possibly can right now. I'm thinking 5 to 10 years in advance, man. That's always where my mind is at. And this is why I'm recommending monk mode, because the more monk mode periods that you can have with before these next 5 to 10 years, or within this next 5 to 10 years, that's gonna separate you from everybody else. That's gonna be the biggest separator that you could ever ask for. And even if you guys have the same level of intellect, you guys have the same level of desires and motivation and discipline and things like that. If you're able to implement these periods of monk mode, it's gonna take you farther than most people, dude. That's all I really have to say. Only a man who doesn't care about his life or his future will say you're taking it too seriously. Exactly. Jaden is exactly right. But if you're watching this, if you're rejecting your potential, if you're living a life in which you truly are not satisfied with, you better lock it with monk mode, man. You need to catch up for the lost time, man. You have no other choice. You have no other choice than right now, because if not, like I said, you're going to be at the end of your life thinking about the life in which you could have lived. And I'm sure you're watching this right now. If you're feeling that moment, man, that's a hard loss, man. That's a hard loss. That is a defeated mindset. But there's no better time than to start right now. And with that being said, monk mode is going to be the perfect thing for you to go ahead and implement. First, like I mentioned, you must specify what that's going to look like. Be very, very clear with your non-negotiables. Be very, very clear with what variables that you want to go ahead and implement, whether it's habits that you want to go ahead and implement or habits that you want to go ahead and take away, and take it seriously, because it needs to be taken seriously. Let me see if I can give you one more note, man. Let's see. I thought I had one more. I swear there was another thing, man. Okay. I swear I had one more thing, man. Yeah, and what I'll say is this, right? There's gonna be a lot of people watching this that truly do not understand the ways in which I'm, being right now, or maybe the ways in which I've been thinking. But nonetheless, the people who make the most progress and the people who take life very, very seriously, a lot of the time they're going to be misunderstood by the masses. And you should strive to be misunderstood, right? I strive to be misunderstood. I don't want people to understand the ways in which I think. I want to live a complex life. And with that being said, there's going to be a lot of people that truly do not understand why you do the things that you do, and the reasons in which you go ahead and do them for. I can go ahead and explain it to you, of course, but nonetheless, if you don't understand, if you don't do it yourself, then you'll truly never understand. And the more people that misunderstand you, the better you are doing in life. I'm gonna say that. For the better or for the worse, you're going to be doing good to an extent. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say for today's podcast. But yeah, I'll go ahead and end it off with going over everything. So if you guys have any specific comments or questions regarding anything that I'm mentioning today, definitely leave it in the comments for sure. Or if you want my opinion on anything, definitely leave it in the comments for sure. So like I mentioned, monk mode is the time to lock in, man. There's no better time than the present moment to go ahead and lock in. Plan this out for your specific self. Like I had mentioned, this is going to be a 30 to 90 day period where you truly immerse yourself in the in your work and the things that you want to go ahead and implement, and you don't deny your potential at all. You do these things. You set your intention, and you work based off of that intention. Okay. Um, this should be clearly different than the life that you live right now. This should be pushing you. This should be adding a level of self discipline that you don't typically have. This should be removing things in which you constantly do all the time, or adding things in which you don't usually do, right? And like I had mentioned, the way in which you want to do that is you want to go ahead and add three variables as well as three non-negotiables. Those non-negotiables should be something that you refuse to not go ahead and do. These, and at the very least, if you come short, you should at the very least be putting an extra level of effort in. Um, that will compensate for the lost progress. That's what I'll say. But nonetheless, like I said, these non-negotiables, these are things that you need to be taken very, very seriously. And then the variables, they can be a little bit less lenient, but nonetheless, I would say it's ideal to at least do these things maybe five times a week. I've tried to do it every single day, and I've been able to do them every single day. So with that being said, for mine, like I said, mine specifically, I meditate, reading, and working out. Those are going to be the things that I prioritize over a lot of different things for sure. And what I will say is another thing that I would like to mention as well is there's going to be people that are going to not understand why you're doing in what you're doing with monk mode, right? There's going to be people that you're probably going to need to go ahead and see less because of these certain things, and nonetheless, you need to go ahead and make these things a sacrifice. You need to sacrifice some of these things because you truly want the best for your life, and hopefully that person also truly wants the best for your life. You should hopefully only have people around you that truly want the best for your life. But with that being said, hopefully they do understand. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say for today's podcast. Implement the habits that you want to go ahead and implement, and get rid of the things in which you know you need to go ahead and avoid yourself from. But nonetheless, I appreciate everyone for stopping by. This was episode 143 of the Life of a Champ podcast, talking about monk mode, answering all your questions, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully I've informed you of something that you maybe not have been too keen on, and hopefully I've encouraged you to go ahead and do it and apply it for yourself. If you do go ahead and do this, I want you to go ahead and specifically let me know your variables, your non-negotiables, and the reason you really want to do this. And to hold yourself accountable, right? Like I said, leave it in the comments. Another thing that's really, really good about this is you can say it to the ones around you, and it'll give you a different level of accountability. And hopefully you stick to being a man of your word, or a man of your word. I'm gonna say that. But if you're able to do that, it's going to be very, very favorable for you. And like I had mentioned, you should probably do this 3 to 4 times a year, and you'll be in a good position. But other than that, I'll leave you guys off with the podcast motto. Fellas out here, man, we don't just work around here, man. We outwork. So make sure you outwork these motherfuckers, because you know that I am. After this, I'm going to the gym. Fellas, you already know what time it is, man. You know the grind, man. You know the grind. And the one thing I want to say as well is always stay clocked in and always stay locked in, fellas. Come on now. We always at work around here, man. We always at work. So we always clocked in. Yes, sir. But other than that, you guys have a good rest of your night. Tap in with the podcast that's going to be on Thursday. I'm hopefully going to have some more guests on here soon. And that's pretty much all I got to say, man. I'm going to be I'll be doing a live stream podcast, hopefully. I'm going to say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow night. So if you guys are interested in music, tap in with that for sure. And other than that, you guys have a good rest of your night. Like I said, tap in with the podcast on Thursday.